Okay, so question number one is who are you and what do you do? My name is Anna Sanchez and I do a lot of things. As of right now, I'm at E.B. Holman Schools in Staten Township. I am the art teacher for kindergarten through 8th grade. I also do substitute teaching. I'm also a waitress slash bartender at Gino's in Hancock. I am also a face and body painter for a small business of my own that I run, which has been hindered a lot by COVID. I also am an artist. I do a variety of different kinds of art, from sculptural stuff to painting to illustration. So, yeah, that's who I am and that's what I do. I'm also a mom, too, I guess. Question number two, were you born in the UP? And if you weren't, what brought you here? And also, if you left, what made you leave? No, I wasn't born here. I was born in Wichita Falls, Texas. My mom was born here in Lake Linden, and as she grew older, she went to go work for the National Park Service out on Isle Royale. And she wanted a change of pace. So she transferred from the national park at Isle Royale down to Big Bend National Park in Texas, which is definitely a very drastic change. And that's where she met my father, who was working as a vaquero for the national parks. He was from Mexico. And yeah, they ended up getting married and moving to Iowa Park, Texas. I don't even remember what brought them there, but that's where I lived until 2000. And then we moved up here. My parents had gotten a divorce, so my mother didn't see any reason to stay down there any longer. She didn't have any family there. And my brother had gone off into the military after he graduated. So yeah, we moved up here, and that's how I ended up here. Yeah, definitely a big change for somebody that lived in Texas and like hardly ever saw snow. It definitely took some getting used to, but to be able to have the change from flat mesquite trees, rattlesnakes, and just it sucked in Texas looking back on it, to the kinds of beauty, natural beauty we have up here. I've left a couple times, and I just keep coming back because it's beautiful, and I love it. So that ties into the next question, number three. What do you like about the UP? Well, that's my biggest draw. My biggest draw is it's the natural beauty. I know there's other places in the world that have the kind of beauty that we have up here, or even exceeds it, but we used to vacation up here when I was a kid, so there's that attachment, childhood sentiment, and I don't have that kind of attachment to Texas, like, at all. Actually, we're selling the property that I grew up on because I don't give a shit about it. I don't like it, and I don't ever want to go back. But yeah, I think it's mostly childhood memories of visiting my family up here, and just has really, I formed a bond with with nature up here. And not only that, but my mom lives here, so I like to be able to be close to her. And now my partner obviously lives here, owns a business here, so we've got quite a few reasons to stick around and why I like this place. Number four is, what are some things you'd change about the UP? I guess one of the things I would change is that I would like there to be I want people to be a little bit more sincere in regards to everybody says that it's such a welcoming place, and the people are so kind and generous and help each other out, which is a Midwest thing as well, I think. But a lot of it's fake. They help you because it's an obligation. They feel obligated to do it, not because they feel good from doing it or because they want to do it, or even just greeting you. A lot of it is insincere. They will say something to your face, and be kind and polite to you, and then behind your back you hear that somebody's talking shit to you and about you, or just doesn't like you as a person, period. And being, I'm white passing. I'm Mexican. My father is Mexican, so I'm half, and probably the whitest Mexican person you've ever met. But so I don't run into a lot of issues with my race, or not race. I'm white, but with my heritage. But I have a couple times, particularly in the school that I work for. But I know some people have. I used to work for Finlandia as their soccer coach and doing recruitment, and a lot of my students there were Latin American or Mexican, and definitely had issues brought up to me that they didn't feel welcomed. They felt intimidated to go to certain businesses and by certain people, and that's unfortunate because of how warm and welcoming some people can be. It's just, I don't feel that it's very genuine. I also wish the winters weren't so long. I like the winter around here, and I knew when I signed up for when staying here, but it kind of sucks sometimes. So yeah. Hey, so I think I left off on question number 5. And what are some misconceptions people might have about the Upper Peninsula and its citizens? I think a lot of people, one, which is one of the misconceptions I had, and it wasn't actually a misconception. When I moved up here, used to vacation up here, I mean, there were still touch tone phones that would make the little pulse when you push the number on the phone, like tick, 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 tick. And that's it. Like every phone was like that. And, it was crazy to me, that, so I used to, you guys even have indoor plumbing? Like, yeah, we got indoor plumbing, but, we all choose to just go poop in the woods instead, But that it's not as technologically advanced or anything like that, when in reality, we actually have a lot of companies that are either startups or have got their start here in Houghton area that are very technologically advanced, and it's kind of amazing, actually. The other thing is that there isn't a lot of culture in this area, just a bunch of white people, and it is a lot of white people, but there is a lot of culture around here, and that has grown and developed its own little quirks and things like that. But if you look back as to the people that immigrated here, it's a lot of immigrants, lots and lots, and from lots of different places, mostly from countries where Caucasian white people come from. But it doesn't mean that there still isn't culture in the area, and it can be really fascinating if you choose to take the time to look into it. Number 6 is, how do we know each other, if we know each other at all? Wade and I met in college at Finlandia University. I believe it was maybe started in maybe Yume Chang's life drawing class, or I don't know. But I can't remember much from college anyways. But we met in college, and then we went our separate ways, and then I never really would have thought Wade would be a teacher or even a substitute teacher, but we met again when I saw him at the Houghton schools, and we did a training, for substitute teachers, and I never would have guessed. I would have never pegged Wade as a person that wanted to do education or anything like that. And maybe it was just a side gig, or maybe it was a social experiment and he's just studying us through observation. But either way, I don't know. And we talk here and there. I think he donated money to me one time, and I asked him to just donate it to the animal shelter instead. And that was pretty cool. So, number 7 is, if you live here, how often do you leave the area? Well, I don't leave as often as I'd like. I'm pretty broke. I've struggled financially for quite a while. I've had to start my life over several times, and that can take a huge toll on your bank account. But I'm hoping that my partner and I, along with my daughter, can do some traveling once COVID is kind of over. But we try to even just travel around the area here. Like, we don't like to just sit at home doing nothing. I mean, except for the winter because it's cold. But yeah, I wish I could do more traveling. I usually would end up going to Wisconsin several times in a year because my daughter's father lives down there, and we would, commute to bring her back and forth. But if I had the choice, I definitely would leave every 3 months and go somewhere else. Yeah. Question number 8. Do you do any outdoorsy stuff? Yeah. It's all a lot. Between sometimes it's just laying on the beach and soaking up sunshine. I like to do swimming, I love kayaking, I love rock scrambling. I like to do diving, rock diving. I wish I could do more rock climbing, but unfortunately my brother got the good side of that one, and I'm not I'm not as strong as I used to be. I like hiking, love camping. I love just sitting. And I love rock picking, like absolutely. But I also like vulture culture, which is going out and collecting little dead things. I like bones. I use them in my art a lot. So that one might strike people as a little weird. But I mean, being outdoors is the reason I'm up here. It's because I like it. I wish that I could spend more time being outside. But sometimes it takes the right equipment to be able to do it, and not always. Don't get me wrong, you don't have to be a Gold Club member of REI just to enjoy the outdoors, but it can help sometimes. And yeah, I love it. I love being outdoors, and if in the summertime you'd be hard pressed to see me stuck inside for much longer, which it wasn't always the case. I suffer with and battle with depression and anxiety a lot, and sometimes when the sun is shining through your window and it's an absolute beautiful day, you feel like a total piece of garbage human for not going outside and just wasting that day. But I have to remind myself that that's okay sometimes to do that. So number 9, have you ever eaten a pasty? Yeah, I have. I do not care for them. Going back to my childhood when we'd vacation up here, we'd always end up getting them, of course, but I don't care for them that much. I don't know what it is. I mean, they're okay. I'll eat it in a pinch if I have to, but the fact that it makes me feel like I have a 10-pound boulder sitting, a rock in my stomach for the rest of the day, and I'm burping it up, it's just not that appealing to me. So, yeah, I have had a pasty, and I didn't care for it, and I don't care what you put on your pasty. You can throw ketchup, you can throw gravy, you can smother it in the blood of your firstborn child and still eat it. I don't care. I ain't going to eat it, okay? Number 10, is there anything else you'd like to say? Not necessarily about the UP, but about anything at all. Normally, I am a pretty vocal person, and it's hard to get me to shut up a lot of the times, but I've never done anything like this before, so I don't really know what to say unless I'm being coached into what to say or prompted through questions. Yeah, I mean, I guess I could do a selfless plug for my art, but I'm not going to. I mean, unless you really want to check it out, go for it. But yeah, that's it. Thanks for this opportunity, Wade. I appreciate it, and I hope that you can pull some usable material out of here because, yeah.